Hey everyone, Moxie here. Today's video is very important. We are celebrating a very important anniversary today, and that is 25 years since the first episode of the Pokemon anime aired in America. It was September 8th, 1998 when the first episode aired, and for me, I was a kid, and it was a love affair for me. Like, love at first sight. I don't think I watched the anime like the day it premiered, but it was definitely somewhere in the fall of 1998. I discovered Pokemon and I became obsessed. This little Pikachu that I got here, this guy is like from 1999. He is like super old and I love him. And he's just come with me everywhere through all my moves and that sort of thing. So he's just gonna be hanging out here. He is my oldest piece of Pokemon merch, I believe. Some of the games I have might be older, but yeah, love him. Yeah, just when I watched that first episode of Pokemon as a kid, I was immediately drawn in. The first thing I did after the episode was over was go out and play Pokemon. And that was a lot of fun, and then later on in the fall of 98, I discovered the games. And it was a love affair for me for the games since that point too. I've played all of them. I did skip Gen 3 when it originally came out. I went back and played it later. Never beat it though. Gen 3 has always been my least favorite, so maybe it was like a blessing in disguise that I never played that when it first came out, which I think was around 2005. I can't remember the exact year, and I'm not going to bother looking it up. You guys can look it up. But that's about the time that I fell off of Pokemon for a few years. I quit watching the anime around that time too, and I didn't pick that up for several years after I had picked the games back up. I did resume my playthrough of the games with Diamond, and as you can see, I may or may not have a favorite Pokemon, and it may or may not be obvious who that Pokemon is. It's my baby Piplup. So I am very glad that I did play Gen 4 so that I could be introduced to the greatest Pokemon of all time, Piplup. Not leaving that open for discussion. But yeah, I fell in love with the anime, fall of 98, played Pokemon Red from the time I got it for Christmas in 98 as well. And yeah, fell off the anime around at the same time that I didn't play Gen 3, picked up the games, played the games like forever. I've played each gen since Gen 4 as well, and didn't have to go back and pick any of them up the way I did with Gen 3. But the anime I did not pick back up until The Thing happened in 2020, and I was looking for things to watch and things to do, and my partner and I were looking for the older Pokemon stuff, maybe to finally like watch everything, all the old stuff up to the new stuff. That was proving pretty difficult, and we had some friends who really loved the Sun and Moon anime where Ash is in Alola, so we just started watching Alola instead, and that series is phenomenal. I still think that Alola is actually the best of the Pokemon anime. That is just, it's peak storytelling, it's peak adventure, it's very fun, it's very exciting, while also being Pokemon. I think some of the older anime kind of suffers from samenism. After watching Alola, I went back and started watching some of the Indigo League, Gold and Silver, Hoenn, Diamond and Pearl, all those places that Ash has been to, and a lot of the episodes are very repetitive, and I think that started changing during the Black and White anime. There was a lot of samenisms compared to the other places that Ash had been to, but you could tell that they were starting to do something different and trying. I never got to watch a whole lot of X, but it felt like they were still trending on the, like, let's do something different, and then they hit their peak at Alola. And it's just so good. If you guys haven't watched Alola and you're looking for somewhere to start with the Pokemon anime, or if you're looking to pick it back up after a long time like I was, I would recommend starting with Alola. It is phenomenal. The cast of characters is great, which is a really nice thing too, that you get more story from the other characters. It's not just Ash. It's not just Ash fighting Team Rocket. Team Rocket has a really cool story arc in Alola as well, which was also really cool to see them doing something different other than being straight up villains the whole time. You always have those stories where Team Rocket is doing something a little different, but Alola just took it an extra step, and it's pretty great. And when my partner and I were in the middle of our Alola watch through, I kind of had it spoiled for me. I think everyone did, unless you were in Japan at the time of it happening. But and I guess this is just a warning that there's a spoiler, I guess, for Pokemon Journeys. Here, I hope that it's not a big deal. Everyone who's watching this video probably already knows it, but yeah, spoiler ahead. Sorry if you don't. But Ash becoming the world's greatest Pokemon trainer, becoming world champion, it's streamed in, you know, the Jumbotrons in Japan. They streamed Ash's battle of him fighting Leon and becoming the world's greatest trainer, the #1, the peak. He had finally made it. I was 7 when I started watching Ash's journey, and, you know, I was in my freaking 30s by the time he became the world's greatest trainer. And, you know, seeing that while I was watching the Alola anime, was very exciting. It's like, okay, that's cool. Like, I felt I was maybe a little salty that I had it spoiled for me. But, you know, we watched Alola, and then we went right to Journeys because Journeys was easily accessible via streaming. And Journeys is the final story or the final arc of Ash's journey as a Pokemon trainer. And when I started watching Journeys, you know, I remembered, oh yeah, you know, this is the one where Ash becomes world champion, and I was just like, okay, you know, it's gonna be fun to watch it. And I actually ended up being very grateful for knowing that he became the world champion at the end of that series, because there was no tension, right? There was no, like, me being like, oh my god, is he gonna win? You know, is he gonna do it? And all this. I knew that I was watching Ash's journey finally to become the world's greatest trainer, you know, watching the first episode of him meeting Pikachu back in 1998 and him freaking struggling so hard throughout the whole Indigo League series, and you know, watching him struggle throughout my entire childhood and all my teen years and into my 20s. You know, Ash always kind of had a difficult time as a trainer. You do see him slowly improve over time, but it was a lot more exciting watching him in Alola and Galar, where he was, you know, a very seasoned trainer at that point. You got to watch him be more of himself rather than being a learner. And that was really cool. And it was really exciting watching all of Journeys and just knowing that I was watching, like, my childhood protagonist, my childhood Pokemon protagonist become the world's greatest trainer in this series. A journey that started for me back in 98. I think the Pokemon anime started airing in Japan in 96 or 97. But yeah, you know, like a 25 plus year long journey for me and Ash when he hasn't aged like a year. He's still 10 and I've aged a couple of decades. It's very exciting and it was very emotional, and yeah, no, Journeys is awesome. And if you're not into Alola, but you grew up watching Pokemon or you remember Ash very fondly, I would recommend at least watching Journeys, because he is such a different character in a really good way. He's still the energetic, loving, like, bright-eyed kid that we met as kids. But he's fully come into his own character. He is a fully realized, fully fleshed out character, and Journeys is watching him finally meet his goal that we all knew he wanted when we were growing up. And yeah, it's really emotional. It's very exciting. I remember, you know, a couple months ago when I realized and saw the announcement that Netflix was going to be dropping the last batch of, I think this is Journey Pokemon Masters or Masters Journey, whatever. Something is coming out on Netflix today, and it's Pokemon related, and that's what I care about. And when I saw that they were dropping the last batch of episodes on September 8th, 2023, I got emotional again, because for me it was like, Netflix, you sly folks over there, you know what you're doing. You were dropping this last batch of episodes to celebrate 25 years since America was introduced to Ash, and this is the end of his journey. The last batch of episodes saw Ash winning the World Championship, and the episodes that are coming out today are basically like a farewell arc to Ash and Team Rocket and all of the characters that we have grown to love the last 25 years. And it's very emotional. It feels weird to know that Ash is finally, like, maybe not necessarily retiring, but he's retiring from being a protagonist. He's retiring from being a main character, and he has always been there for me throughout my entire Pokemon journey. Like, my Pokemon journey began when I met Ash, and he's leaving it behind. Something I never thought possible, I never thought was gonna happen. I thought Nintendo was going to hold on to Ash forever. But, you know, for me, it's also like very weird timing just for stuff that's going on in my personal life. You know, I have a baby now who is coming up on 1 year old, and my partner and I are so excited to introduce them to the world of Pokemon in a more meaningful way, other than showing them Pokemon plushes and, you know, having them sit there while we're watching the Pokemon anime, you know, like have them be more engaged with the Pokemon world the way that you and I are. We are very excited for that, and it is so weird and so bizarre to think about how everything Pokemon anime related and everything Pokemon related and my entire life with Pokemon has been with Ash there. And right as I'm getting ready to introduce the next generation, my baby, to Pokemon, we're getting a new protagonist. And I don't even, like, it's just so weird to think about. It's such weird timing for the stuff going on in my personal life, but it's also very exciting that, you know, the timing was just right, that my partner and I got to have Ash the whole time, and now that it's time for our baby to have Pokemon and to be introduced to Pokemon, there's new protagonists, there's new characters, there's something new and fresh, and it's beautiful timing for me personally, and I'm excited also to see, I guess, something even more new and fresh from the Pokemon anime. Like I said, the series was starting to feel a little stale towards maybe like the middle, you know. Sinnoh was really starting to feel slow, and then Black and White was okay because they were trying to do something different. Y was a little better because there was a little more different, and then Alola, they finally started doing something really different, and Journeys was even better for the same reason, and I can only imagine how much better it's going to get from here. I really love Pokemon, as you can see. It's just very exciting, and it's very, like, emotional for me to talk about, and I am very surprised I have made it this far into the video without, like, tearing up a little bit, just because of how meaningful Pokemon has been to me my entire life. You know, when something has been a part of your life for 25 years, you're a child when you're introduced to it. It's been a part of your life for a lot longer than most other things in your life, including most friendships and relationships. So, yeah, Pokemon, very close to me. Very happy and excited that we're getting new episodes today, that completes Ash's journey, and very excited to see what the future of the anime holds, future of the video games. I know that's not the topic of this video, but, you know, love the video games, have always played them, will always play them. I will always be that guy buying the next gen of Pokemon, no matter what anyone says, no matter what it looks like. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today's video. I just wanted to put out something to share my hype and my excitement of Pokemon, and share a little bit about the Pokemon anime and the video games, and, like, what all of that has meant to me over the years, and just put out some positivity and hype for that. And I hope that if you're watching this video, I hope that you are excited for something Pokemon related. There's something for all of us out there, even if it's Pogo. There's always something. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch Pokemon now.